Good freaking morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, traders, insider chat team. Woo! Welcome back. Happy hump day and welcome to February. It is February 1st. Brand new day, brand new month full of brand new opportunities. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be back. Why is that? Because I get to work with the best trading community in the world. That's number one. I get to work with you guys every single day and watch you guys post up some big time killer profits. But not only that, the market's on fire, ladies and gentlemen. The market is hot. We are seeing stocks rip and run. Woo! 200%, 300%, 400%. If you take a look at MSGM in less than 2 days, 2,000%. It's amazing, guys. What do we call the market that we're in right now? What is it? It is supernova season. All right. And I love supernova season. This is when you can make your month in a single trade. This is when you can make your year in this season. This is the time, if you know how to trade it, to really strap in, get prepared, and make some big time profits, guys. Welcome to supernova season. It's kicking on off with MSGM, ripping on up in the last literally 2 days, 2,000%. Say hello to ticker VS this morning, currently up at this point in time, nearly 500%. We have some great opportunity, guys. There's a lot of action, and I am excited to lock in some killer profits. And I just want to say real quick, congratulations to traders inside of chat. The early bird is getting the worm. Steve coming in with 210. I'm locking in about $300 there on MSGM this morning. You got Johnny coming in with some early bird profits. You got Kaysen, right? Coming on in with some early bird profits there on ticker VS, locking in about $300 on the day. Way to go, traders. You come on in, you're getting prepared, you're finding your opportunities, and you're already making it happen the first day of February. So let's make it happen, team. We have about 22 minutes until the market opens on up. We have a lot to discuss. So I'm excited to make it happen. I'm excited to get you guys prepared for today, and I'm excited to see what the market has in store and how we're going to make those big time profits. Let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and dive into it. All right, team. So again, we're going to go right through it quickly but thoroughly and make sure you guys are all on the same page. Number one stock today, right? We're just going to talk about the top 3 plays. That's it. Top 3 stocks of the day for pennies. Top 3 plays in the options market. Number one, you got VS. This is where your focus needs to be. And for those of you who are like, Josh, but the stock's already got 400%. Same thing yesterday with MSGM. Josh, the stock's already up like 200%. Yeah, well, it's showing potential to continue the rip. And it ripped all the way to 27. And then who would have thought the stock was going to hit $80? $80 here in pre-market. This stock is on watch as well. But here's the deal. VS is showing signs of potentially being the next supernova stock like MSGM. Look at that float. Low freaking float. Light blue, 1.83 million in float. MSGM was about 500,000 in float. Check that volume out. 12 million shares today on average, less than a mil. We got great volume, low float, up 400%. This stock isn't a pump and dump. It didn't just pump on up and dump on down. This stock is holding up decently, right? Decently. And we have a press release, right? VS systems to partner with Resolve to bring generative AI and gamification to customer payments and credit management. Very, very different press release from what we saw with MSGM, but we're meeting some of the same criteria. Press release. Okay, number one, decent press release. Look at the daily chart. Room to run. All right, there's room to run here. Low float stock with good volume. We just need traders to be on one stock, guys. That's it. We need the majority of traders to just say, I'm going to trade VS today. And that's where everybody is. Like we saw yesterday with MSGM. The majority of traders just need to be here and stay here on VS. This very well could be the next MSGM. This very well could be the number one stock of the day. But there's 3 stocks that have good potential. There's 3 stocks that could be the top stocks and the top opportunities for today. But VS right now, number one, okay, we want to get a 420 break. Yeah, man, a 420 break. Because a 420 break is over that prior high, and that's where a lot of volume would really start to move on in, right? Really start to move on in over that 420 level, all right? And then that's where we could really start to explode up to 517 resistance, right? We're marking up your resistance levels now, up towards around 517, 519. Steve, yeah. Up to 6, up to 650. See, we're just marking up multiple touches. We're marking up very obvious, clear levels. That would be some profit-taking levels here intraday. Up towards around, we're probably thinking about like 833, then up towards around 10, and then we're coming up in some of those highs here. So I'm just going to hit these levels on the head real quick. These are going to be profit-taking levels. These are going to be levels of resistance. These are going to be areas that you need to be mindful of, right? Why do you be mindful of them? Because they're areas that the stock go up to, the stock could stop and start to pull back. And those are areas that you need to be looking to possibly lock in profits if you're in this, right? So support right now, the nearest level of support is 260. If you fall below 260, your next level of support's down here at 143. Resistance right now. Man, my power bank started to go off again. That's weird. Resistance right now at this point in time here on VS is going to be that 420 level. If we get a break over 420, your next leg up and your next spike will take you to 5 and then 519. Okay, you start breaking 519, you have room to 6. You start breaking over 6, you got room to 650. You break 650, you have room to 833. You break 833, you got to be mindful of that 875 rule, right? 875, that weird psychological number. Okay, you start breaking 875, you have room to 10. You break 10, 1138, and then 1237. I'm sorry, 1220 here on VS. It would be 1220 here on VS. All right. So those are going to be your levels to the upside today here on Tika VS. Okay. This is the number one stock right now at this point in time. And I want to show you guys, what an 875 break looks like. And I do apologize if I do stop talking momentarily. Every time I perform an action on this computer, my little power bank is beeping again, which is just a little odd. Not a fan. I'm going to stop this recording, reduce my CPU usage, and see if that really does eliminate the problem with that little thing beeping. Maybe it is a power concern on the computer. But yeah, we called this one for an 875 break yesterday, right? 875 is just this weird psychological level. So what did we do? We had a nice, solid 875 break, right? Really, really nice. Came back and retested 875. And then what did we do? We squeezed right up to $10. There's something about penny stocks, and penny stocks love that 875 level, especially when they're volatile, low float, rippers and runners. MSGM, right, was a great 875 break up to 10, right? So for some reason, I'm just throwing this out here, for some reason, you're not already in this stock and we see it up near 875, right? Which, I mean, let's be real, like there's better opportunities to get in down here at like 260, right? I would hate to see you guys, not in this until it hits 875. But again, if we ever see an 875 break on VS, we know that we have great odds to see this thing rip up towards around $10. All right, guys. But again, those are your levels of support right now at this point in time. Nearest level 260. Below that, you're looking at $2. It's psychological. And then 143. If we get a 420 break, you can definitely take this long for the rip to 5 and 519. That's your first target. Okay. Next, EBET. Right. So EBET doesn't have a press release. That's like the only downfall. And there's not a recent filing, but it's coming off a pretty decent day yesterday. Look at the daily chart. Really strong pop in volume, decent daily candle. It's a prior day mover. It's a prior day top gainer. And this could be a continuation play for today, right? Could be a momentum play, could be a continuation play. And we're seeing that continuation and momentum here in pre-market. This one has great potential to move today. Above 142, you're bullish. Above 142 support, you absolutely can play this long back up to about 185 and then back up here to 220. You ever break 220, you have room to 260. That's it. There's no press release. There's no filings, right? But it's a low float stock. It's 11 million. It's trading great volume. It's meeting some of the criteria to be on the watch list. What's that last piece of criteria? Because it doesn't have a press release, right? What's the catalyst? The catalyst is it was one of yesterday's top gainers. It had a strong day here yesterday, and we're seeing that momentum and continuation here through pre-market. and it's sitting right at a very nice level of support. This could be a nice sleeper play. This could be a stock that no one's looking at, and before you know it, you see it hitting, $2.20. I like EBET. I like the daily. I like the movement here in pre-market. I like how consistent this stock's been. I like where it's sitting right now at support. There's good potential here at 142 to be looking to get long above 142 for the spike back up through VWAP to 185, then the $2 psychological resistance, then 220, and then we have room up to 260, right? Don't sleep on EBET. EBET from a technical standpoint has some really, really solid potential. And you're already starting to see a little bit of a pop here at this point in time. So keep it on high watch, guys. All right, high watch above 142. I like it. I would say that's going to be number 2 on the day, believe it or not. Number 2. I'm like 50-50 with MSGM, guys. Why would I be like 50-50 with MSGM? Because the stock is already up substantially. Think about this from, a trading psychology standpoint, right? I'm going to ask you guys a quick question. You're a trader, right? And you want to find stocks that are, low, buy them low, and then sell them high, right? That's kind of everybody's basic mindset. Buy low, sell high, right? Look at MSGM. Like, do you really want to buy the stock at $60? Yes or no? Do you guys really want to buy the stock at $60? Like, you saw the stock yesterday in pre-market at 8, okay? It ran all the way to 80. What's your thought process right now? I want to find the next stock that can go from 8 to 80, right? That's my thought process just naturally. I want to find the stock that can go from 8 to 80 like MSGM. I don't necessarily want to be buying MSGM at $60. I want to be buying the stock that's at $8 that can go to 80. Is that your guys' mindset as well? Is that like your first instinctual thought that kind of goes through your head? Yes or no? Chop chop. I'm just curious to get your opinions here. I mean, that's what I think of naturally, instinctually, and that's what I think the majority of traders are thinking as well. Like, why would I buy MSGM when the stock's at 60? Yes, it can move on up. Yes, there's potential, but where's the next stock that can go from 8 to 80? That's what traders are thinking right now. Where's that stock? And those traders right now are probably thinking, hey, that could be on ticker VS. That could be on ticker EBET. Look at that, guys. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than that. You want to be a buyer here at support at 142? Get your freaking entries at 142. Look at that. Starting to get some great action. Congratulations. But again, it's just one of those things from a psychological standpoint that traders are probably out here looking for the next MSGM and not really wanting to touch MSGM until it starts ripping and running, until it just blows on up and nothing else is doing anything, right? If the market's dead and this is the only stock that's ripping, then of course the majority of buyers will come back to this stock and it could go to 100. But at this point in time, the first thought that's going through probably everybody's head is, where's the stock that's going from 8 to 80? That's where I want to put my focus. I mean, that's where I want to put my focus. Placid wants to put his focus there. And I would be safe to assume that probably 80% of the traders in the market are thinking the same thing. So right now, MSGM, back burner the stock until you see everything else do nothing and this stock actually get all of the attention. If this stock gets all of the attention, you give it your attention. But at the start of the day, I think it makes sense, personally, all right, to really be looking for the next stock that could rip and run like MSGM did. And VS has really good potential to be a ripper and runner. You got a dip buy at 260. You got a 256 dip buy, ladies and gentlemen. 256 dip buy opportunity here on VS for you, right? 256 dip buy. Okay, congrats if you took EBET off that support level down around 142. I mean, it wasn't there to the penny, but again, you're holding above support. Stops are below support. You got low risk, and your first target is 185, next target 2, and then 220. All right? You're welcome that, I love you guys and I coach you because I would be all over that trade right now. So hopefully someone took it. And if you didn't, then we're going to have a conversation here in a little bit as to why you're not taking these trades, okay? I have a reason not to be in them. I can't be in them. So anyway, EBET, good potential. VS, good potential. Even MGAM, right? Like, it's really fading and falling, but it's kind of similar to what we saw yesterday to a certain extent with MSGM. So look at MGAM, okay? It's a nice lower float stock. It's 13 million float. It's up 60%. Average volume is 1.6 million shares. Okay, we're trading about 17 million shares at this point in time. Okay, now why is the stock moving on up? Well, here we actually see, and this wasn't recent, but they regained NASDAQ compliance here on January 24th, right? Here on January 24th. What did we see yesterday with MSGM? The press release, they regained NASDAQ compliance. Stock rips. What do we see moments later? MGAM start to rip because it had a recent press release highlighting that they also regained NASDAQ compliance. That's why the stock is ripping on up. And that's why I think the stock has some potential, and why we should be watching it today. Okay. It's a low float play. Okay. Very similar press release, but there's a lot of differences as well, right? The float's 13 mil, not a mil, right? We don't have 12% short float interest. Okay. There's a few differences, but there's also some similarities, which make it worth some time. 450 resistance right now at this point in time on MGAM. If you break 450, we can run up to 5. You break 5, we can run up to 560. Now, I'm sorry, 550. Now, if we break 550, that's when things get interesting. That's when we start really just having a big open window of opportunity to run here with MGAM. This stock has potential to rip to 846 if we can get a 550 break. That's huge, guys. That's a big window that the stock has to move. You ever break 850? Where can you go? 10. And then if you start breaking 10, that 200-day moving average is all the way up at $14. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but what I am saying is if this stock starts to get the attention and the hype and the volume and it starts moving on back up, this stock has wonderful potential to be a massive mover today. First things first, though, get back above $4.50 and also break the downtrend. Support right now at this point in time is going to be $3.88. $3.88 is your level of support here with MGAM. That is going to be the final stock that we discussed this morning, right? So VS number 1 above 256, EBET above 142, right? MGAM has potential above 388. Need to see a rebreak of 450 to get this thing going. And then if all fails and nothing really moves today and everything is kind of slow and steady and not moving like MSGM, that's when you see traders take their focus and their attention and bring it back over to MSGM. And if and when that time comes, what do? All right, we shift our focus and attention as well and start to look for opportunities here with MSGM, guys. Okay. Here's my back burner list right now at this point in time. We don't have enough time to talk about it in the next 6 minutes, but inside a chat, if we have some downtime, we'll talk about the back burner list. LCID for the mid candle, CVNA for the bounce off 10 to 1050, right? CVNA, as long as it holds 10, you have room to 1050, then 1120. LCID, if you guys know what a mid candle breakout is, check it. We have potential for a mid candle breakout here with LCID. And then I got two really like stretches. Like I'm really stretching these two, like really stretching them. The only reason I even have these on watch is because the floats are under $1 million. Floats are under $1 million. NUWE floats under $1 million. BXRX float is under 1 million, and they do have 10% or greater short float interest. So why does that really like stand out to me? Well, look at MSGM float under $1 million, right? And then the short float interest is 12%. So I'm looking at some similarities with MSGM, right? We have a similarity with MGAM, and that's the press release, NASDAQ compliance, right? Now, what does NUWE and BXRX have in common with MSGM, right? Floats under $1 million, short float interest over 10%. So I'm just seeing some similarities. And the fact that I see some similarities makes me want to at least have them on a back burner, periodically just go take a peek at them and see if they're doing anything. And if they're not doing anything, then we'll take them off the watch list. But due to those similarities, I think it's worth having them on a back burner, guys. BXRX and then NUWE. All right. So what am I doing today with the SPY? Why is MGAM dumping, guys? Did they just drop an offering? MGAM just probably dropped an offering. Wow, that was a massive dump. Watch an offering press release come out. Like stocks don't just dump like that for no reason. Like stocks don't just fall a dollar that quickly. I mean, for no reason. I mean, yeah, stop loss is getting triggered. Yeah. But I mean, just out of nowhere for it to dump like that is a little odd, right? So here's the deal. Watch for an offering to come out. Like, I don't see anything right now, but give it a minute or two. Look at your news streamer and look to see if there's an offering with MGAM. I mean, that's the type of price action that suggests an offering. And that's what you got to be very careful of. Very careful is, again, guys, these stocks that are up 100, 200, 300%, at any point in time, company could come out and say, you know what, we're going to drop an offering. Screw retail. Screw anybody buying this. We're going to drop that offering. And that's just very, very, very common. Everything just dumped? Really? VS had a big pullback. You're right. VS, big pull. EBET, big pull. MSG, oh, wow. Everything did. That's shady. Everything at the same time is a little odd. You could absolutely say market manipulation a little bit, right? Right. I don't see an offering press release on MGAM, but you're right. You're right, Johnny. Everything dumped at the same time. You could say that's a little bit of some like market maker. It just seems too coincidence. Everything moves at the same time. You got, the big boys out there dumping the bag all at the same time, flushing out retail before the market opens, maybe. I don't know, guys. We're really, really stretching it right now, but it's odd that you see four completely different stocks that have nothing to do with one another all drop at the same exact time. It's just odd, right? So right now, you got to be playing it safe, but at the same time, there's a lot of great potential to really see the markets really continue to move on up regardless of these massive drops. Just sit back, wait for them to kind of find some support, balance themselves out, kind of calm down a bit, and then we'll go from there, guys. Okay. Did everyone else just responding to it? I mean, at the same time though, like human wise, like as humans, we're just not quick enough to make that. Like you see, right, MSGM dump, but at the same time, like by the second, to the second, everything drops at the same time. Like us as humans, like we just can't react that quick. Did they drop an offering? And that's what I was saying. Wait for an offering press release. I still don't see the offering, but they dropped an offering, and it's really common to see offerings, guys. And that type of price action really looks like the offering, and maybe that was an algorithmic move in the market since they dropped an offering. Maybe it's an algo move, or maybe it is a reaction across the board with traders thinking like, hey, what if EBET drops an offering? Hey, what if VS drops an offering? Hey, what if MSGM drops an offering? It's very, very possible. So sit back at the start of the day. Right now, we have to take this in consideration, right? We were not expecting this massive drop on MSGM, VS, EBET, MGAM. That completely changes our approach at the start of the day, does it not? It does, right? We got to really sit back now and wait and see what these stocks are going to do. Be smart. Sit back. I want you to start your month strong and profitable. Now, that right there threw me off, right? That threw me off here a little bit. But, it's important to talk about these things, okay? Here's the deal. You're not going to really see a lot of trading opportunity with the SPY and the Qs in the broader market until 2 o'clock. Why? You have the Fed interest rate decision, okay? The Fed interest rate decision here at 2 o'clock, followed by the first Fed press conference of 2023. If you guys enjoyed the market conditions yesterday, okay, then hey, you could trade today. The SPY, 404.76 support. You could take calls to 406.50, then 408. You crack below 404.76 support on the SPY, you can take puts down to 403. If you like this slow, choppy market and you're patient. If you're not patient, if you don't like the slow, choppy market, if this was too challenging for you yesterday, like it was for me, you're going to want to sit back until 2 o'clock, wait for the markets to react to the Fed interest rate decision, and wait for Jay Powell, Uncle Powell, to get on the mic and start talking. Your best opportunity today, ladies and gentlemen, will be coming, in my opinion, here towards the end of the day. All right, so the SPY and the Q, sit on your hands. We're in a penny stock market, team. We are in a penny stock market. This is where the hype is. This is where the focus is. This is where the opportunity is. And we do know on days like, okay, it's best to be out of the SPY. It's best to be out of the broader market because the market's probably going to be very, very choppy. Wait, be patient. Good opportunity. possibly right around the corner here towards the end of the day. Oh my gosh. Woo! Jeez Louise, baby. MSGM did drop the offering. My goodness, that is some crazy stuff. Right before the open, too. Motorsport Games announcing a $3.9 million registered direct offering of 183,000 shares at a price of $21. And their float is only like 500K. That's massive, guys. That's massive. That's crazy. And again, that was something we're talking about, right? Like why would we want to buy a stock that's already ran 2,000%? The reason I didn't take a swing trade yesterday on MSGM was the fear of an offering, and that's still something that's on the table. Companies like to drop offerings. We were talking about this one here on TikTok this morning. Like, companies love to drop offerings when you have massive movers. So that's something that you have to be positioned for, is what if the company drops an offering? Have stop losses in place. Have freaking stop losses in the system. Just do it, right? At least, hey, you're going to prevent some of the downside if you are in something and the company's shady and drops an offering on you. Okay, so it was MSGM with the offering. That's coming off the watch list on a back burner. MSGM off the watch list here, team. Going to a back burner at this point in time, okay? Right now, your stocks here are going to be VS number 1. And yeah, VS is halted for some reason, which is odd, right? The stock only went from 285 to 3. That's not enough movement for a stock to get halted. That's odd. That's really odd here on VS, the fact that this stock is now halted, but it is halted. We'll just wait to see if it goes live. You do have 256 support, right? 256 support here on VS. Let's see what it does when it goes live. EBET, right? It still never cracked below 142. So, hey, even if you had to hold through that little bit of a drop, you never cracked 142, and you still had a solid entry here at 142, and you guys are sitting pretty. EBET is really a nice looking stock, guys. It has some really, really good potential. Okay, MGAM's back above 388. Let's see if MGAM can now stay above 388 and possibly continue to rip on up. Lucid, don't forget about LCID. Please don't forget about LCID. This stock has great potential to be a fantastic mid-candle breakout. All right, other than that, team, do what's best. And what's best? Sit back and just wait for the one good killer opportunity. There goes EBET, 142. Now we're up to 185. Even if you pulled the trigger at 142, you took like 10 cents of heat. Top 2 plays right now, guys. Top 2 plays, EBET and then MGAM. These are your top 2 penny stocks right now at this point in time. MGAM, EBET. You got VS halted right at the start of the day, 9:30 and 40 seconds. This will be live at 9:35:40 here on VS. Your top 2 plays, EBET, MGAM right now at this point in time. We just put MSGM on the back burner due to the offering. We're not going to touch it right now as there's an offering out there. Yeah, don't forget about Lucid. It's got the mid-candle breakout opportunity. Offerings are the worst, 100%, guys. And that's something that, again, you have to really, really play this market safe. Offerings are common, okay? That's why I was like, I just can't take the swing trade on MSGM, because what if they drop an offering? I don't want to sit there and take an unnecessary loss. But at the same time, if you position yourself correctly to where you're not wiped out if there is an offering, and let's just say there's not an offering, then hey, you could absolutely make your year on a freaking swing trade on one of these stocks. You could, but you have to make sure you're positioning yourself correctly. And if you're positioned correctly and there's an offering, right, don't let it wipe you out completely and take you out of the game, right? But if you're able to position yourself right and you're in and there's no offering, for example, then hey, you can make a shit ton of money. So again, it's just an algorithmic reaction, right? If everything was sympathy, which again, sympathy, that's an algorithmic reaction at the same time, right? It's got to be an algo reaction. It's very, very quick. I would say computer driven. Humans can't react that quickly, right? It was to the second we had the offering with MSGM, everything else ticked down. Sympathy. I would agree with that, right? And that's where we're saying that was a little bit of an algorithmic move there based on just that really, really tight timing, right? Really, really tight timing. So right now, sitting back, relaxing, guys, looking to see where the best opportunity is. I want to keep Lucid on high watch for the mid candle. MGAM, we have 388 support, right? 388 support right now at this point in time here on MGAM. Let's see if we can now stay above 388. EBET hit your first target of 185. So nice bounce, nice entries off your 142 support. You just hit your first target here. Congrats, EBET. Definitely a top stock here. VS should be, no, we got a 10-minute halt now. Is this a halt due to volatility? It is a halt due to volatility here on VS. So that's looking like to be a 10-minute halt here. All right, right now we want to be focusing on these two plays, EBET, MGAM. These are your top two plays right now at this point in time. EBET and then MGAM. Okay, we want to see MGAM stay above 388 support. Get back above 450. That's fantastic. Back above 450 looks great. And then, hey, we could definitely see a nice spike up to 5. So not only do we need to break back above 450 resistance and regain it as support, we also need to break that downtrend that falls right around 450 as well. 388 support right now at this point in time here on MGAM. Okay. If we break 185 on EBET, you can see a squeeze up to 220. So right now, you could have a little bit of a break and retest over 185 team. Break and retest potential here with EBET over 185. If you know a break and retest, let's say the break and retest is in your playbook, keep it on watch. You could absolutely see a nice little break and retest for a nice little out of the gate trade here with EBET. Yeah, Lucid looks great. I like Lucid for the mid candle, and like I said, I'm not going to sell this until Friday because I do believe if this is the an A plus, mid candle breakout that's going to play out the way mid candle breakouts play out, that gives us targets at 1466 and then 17. Okay, but right now your top two plays are EBET for the potential break over 185, the retest as support to take your longs, and you're looking to definitely, get long over 388 on MGAM up to 450. Take profits around 450. If you break 450, you're going to 5. So again, you're sitting right at 388 support over on MGAM, right? If you're at support on a hot stock, buy it, go long, put stops under support, take profits at resistance, right? What's MGAM doing? Wow. Would you look at that, right? Drop below 388 support, right? Cracked it, regained it instantaneously, pulled back, put in a higher low. Look at that, right off 388, right? And what did it do? Put in a higher low above 388, and it just ripped where? Nearly 450. It got to 446, right? You hit your target, right? You can't make this stuff up, right? This is all done live. We just talked about this stock. MGAM, it's got 388 support, right? What did it do? Snapped and cracked 388, right? It cracked 388, snapped back, higher low retest, and pushed. You can't make that up. So right now, guys, be on top of it. Your top two stocks. Your top two stocks, number one, MGAM. Number two, EBET. What's next? A break and retest here over 185 here on EBET. Looking for the break and retest here over 185 here with EBET before getting those longs. But here's something else I want to point out. You see that pre-market high right here at 171? You got VWAP here at 171 as well. This is a break and retest of the VWAP and 171. So technically speaking, you could be taking a trade here. I mean, you're a little late on that break and retest, right? Your break and retest would have been right there around 170. So here you're buying at resistance. That's tough, unless you want to be buying breakouts in this market, which You can buy breakouts in this market. The market's hot enough to be buying breakouts. So you could be taking the trade here as you just had your first break, retest over your VWAP and over that high of 171. EBET now breaking 185, and this stock has room up to 220, right? We got some room up towards around 220 here with EBET. Here we go. Starting to break 185 here now. Starting to break 185 here now. All right, we have some room to 2 and then 220 here with EBET. Okay, nice little break and retest on MGAM up to 450. EBET now starting to break 185 here. You have, again, $2 resistance and then 220. I'm just sitting back waiting. I'm sitting back. We're only 11 minutes in, guys. We're 11 minutes in. When did MSGM really start its rip yesterday? Right? Really started the rip here right around 10:30. So, hey, if we don't see any killer opportunities right in the first 10, 15, 20 minutes, it's okay because we started to see that action right around 10:30 yesterday. So be patient. Wait. Yeah, it's odd that a stock like VS is halting on these types of moves, right? It's odd. It's all circuit breaker, so it's a 10% threshold. It's 10% threshold over the average 5-minute move on the first 15 minutes. So right here from 280 to 3, what's the average? You got about 290. From 290 to the gap up down, that was over 10%. That's why, because it exceeded the 10% threshold of movement compared to the 5-minute average, and you can only really calculate the first 2-minute candle. So you had a nice little 20-cent pop. So the average is right around 290 is the average move on that first candle, up to where we open 14% down right at 10%. That would trigger a halt on a 10% move. So this may be a really hard stock to get involved with since it got halted right at the start of the day. And now it's going to be basing those 10% thresholds on these little moves. Yeah, it sucks. It's unfortunate. And then here's the deal at 9:46. Guess what happens, right? That 10% threshold for halts on the circuit breaker goes to 5%. So it's going to move even less before it gets halted, right? It's going to move even less. This is going to be a really hard one to play today, guys. It really will be.